The NCAA Outdoor Championship is supposed to go to the best track and field team, and in 2023, that was the Lady Longhorns of Texas. They were led by Julian Alfred, who doubled in the 100 and the 200, but she did not come alone because they scored a whole bunch of points across every event in that meet, and they're now the Big 12 champions again in 2024. So it doesn't take a whole lot of math to figure out that they could likely repeat again for a national title. So track and field actually is a team sport at every single conference championship meet in Division I. But we also never see upsets in track and field because the rules for a team to win a conference meet are way different than the NCAA's. We just changed the rules on how we find the champion when we get to the NCAA's. And if you don't believe me, just consider, no matter how fast an athlete actually is, they're wearing a team uniform because winning events is how they score points for their team. And they hand out a team championship trophy as a result at the end of the meet. It's actually how a college coach competes to keep their job. But since nobody actually cared that much about who actually had the best team, I took it upon myself to go and rank them all. Every single team in Division I. Believe it or not, we have everything that we would ever need to answer that question, which is why I created a net rating system for college track and field. And it's kind of like what they do with RPI in basketball. It's just the way that they rate teams based off of who did you play and who did you beat, regardless of what conference you're in. And in college track and field, we don't just have conferences. We also have 9 regions across the country. And we already rank every single team in those regions. We just don't actually use those rankings for anything. Literally, they qualify you for nothing. So it's really not that hard to figure out who has the best team if you ask the right questions. And I could tell you how I do it. You take conference, regional, and national ranking indexes, and you mix it together with a whole bunch of math and even some professional judgment. But I'm sure you really don't care about that, so I won't bore you. So here is a breakdown of the top women's track and field teams across all of Division I if we actually cared who had the best one, from top to bottom. You can even check out the full list for the more than 350 Division I teams on my website, scarecruiting.com, or use the link in the description below. But if you're new here, I have to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of scarecruiting.com, where I rank the best high school track and field recruits in the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comments section because I try to read them all. I don't have time to break down all the crazy things that using a net rating system actually points out. I could tell you that the SEC is clearly the best conference across all of Division I, but Missouri is also clearly the worst team inside that conference, and it's really not close on the numbers. Or that the ACC is definitely the most overrated conference in college because they only have one team ranked inside the top 25. It's actually Notre Dame, but Duke is right behind them at number 26, so I guess that counts for something. But instead, I'm going to focus my energy on the teams that actually did make the top 25, because when you're ranking college teams, that's all that really matters anyway. So the only conferences with multiple teams inside the top 25 are as follows. The SEC, of course, is at the top, with 7 teams in total. But the Big Ten comes out with 4 teams, and the Big 12 also with 3. The end of the Pac-12 has 2 teams, but you would never guess that the Ivy League has 3 teams inside the top 25. On that note, here are all the surprise teams that make the top 25, because to be honest, most of the programs in D1 we tend to ignore. The smart women at Harvard landed at number 14, but Princeton came in at number 23, which is a big deal because they lost to UPenn at the Ivy League Conference meet by half a point. I'm not making this up. And UPenn came in themselves, just outside the top 10 as team number 11. And Army out of the Patriot League actually landed at number 21. And they still got beat at their conference meet by Navy, who is actually really good themselves. Northern Arizona is the class of the Big Sky once again at number 20. And Albany actually dominated the America East so badly that they got the number 19 spot. But Howard out of the MEAC conference has to be the biggest shocker of all because they came in at number 13. Shout out to head coach David Oliver because his Olympic experience has clearly taken that program to new levels. Which brings me now to the top 10, where UConn out of the Big East Conference is proof that they can do more than just play basketball, because they are team number 10. They're also the highest team not from the major conferences. But remember, you still don't want to see them in a dual meet. USC goes number 9, because they still have some of the best sprinters and hurdlers in the NCAA. And the Florida Gators represent for the SEC at number 8. And remember, they were still the national runner-up just last season. But Illinois out of the Big Ten is team number 7. And that means they're going to have to hold off a whole bunch of new talented teams coming into that conference next season. And the next 3 spots go exclusively to teams out of the state of Texas. The Texas A&M Aggies get number 6. The Texas Tech Red Raiders get number 5. And the Lady Longhorns of Texas still get number 4. It's crazy to say all of that out loud, but honestly, the top 3 teams on this list have probably put out more Olympic caliber talent than anyone else throughout the past 2 decades. Arkansas and all their fast 400 runners right now are number 3, after winning the NCAA indoor title, and LSU is number 2, after emerging victorious at the SEC Conference meet in 2024. But even all of their fast ladies couldn't keep the Oregon Ducks out of the number 1 spot, because they have the most complete team in the entire NCAA. It may not translate during the championship because of how the meet is scored, but you would struggle to find any team in the nation that could walk into Tracktown, USA and go one-on-one with the Ducks and come away with the victory. So if you really want to be the best, then you're going to have to beat the best. And winning is actually pretty simple. It's also just very hard to pull off. Your team has to figure out how to recruit a bunch of talented athletes and then get them to go out there and be talented all at the same time to score points. But all of these teams have figured that out better than just about anyone else in the NCAA. And if you don't believe me, just schedule any single one of them one-on-one in a duel. Remember to check the full ranking list on SCArecruiting.com or use the link in the description below, because if you are a recruit, then you deserve to know who actually has the best team, because the name on the front of a uniform won't win you a championship, but the athletes who are inside of it and the way that they perform definitely does. SCA Track and Field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.